Leo, how are you? Welcome to the channel and to your reading, Leo. Let's connect with your energies for these next few hours, next few days. What is the energy available for Leo through the message of the angels? Let's see what your angels are telling us, Leo. What is arriving for you? Well, energies of abundance, of stability, of new resources that place you in the hands of what could be, of course, abundance. You know that you are in luck. It is going to be a week, a few days, a few hours, very opportune for you to receive resources. When the Ace of Pentacles appears in a reading, one must be preparing to receive something good, something that aligns with a job, something that aligns with your life in terms of projects, in terms of what could be a relationship, because everything remains in this place of stability. Ace of Pentacles, being a coin card, is speaking to us of opportunity or of what could be a beginning. So whatever it is that you need concretely, because it is a pentacle, for it to show itself so that you can see it, it is about to begin, it is about to happen. This is not something like a thought. No, this is something that is given to you in one way or another, and that soon you see, and you see it in a very evident way. So this is not just a wish, an idea, or something that remains, or a word, something that the wind is going to take away. No. And it comes to manifest itself in several ways in your life. It comes to tell you that you have to get out of this situation that at this moment might be accompanying you, where I feel a feeling of disappointment and sadness. Because you are about to receive something of great value to you, something that is going to support you, something that in some way is going to make you notice that you will finally begin to concretize something that you have been wanting to do for a long time. Because obviously I feel that this suffering and this pain could be because of something that turned out very differently than you expected, or it simply did not turn out. Regret, pain, or suffering are simply not an option for you now. Quite the opposite. They speak to me of a situation where you are arriving directly at the place where your highest goals and aspirations will be realized. You are moving toward a space of fulfillment, leaving behind the weight of the past to finally embrace the reality you have been working so hard to create. I feel that from being here, you land in a totally different place with an energy of value where you can not only contribute yourself, but you are also going to receive what obviously corresponds to your value. I mean, growth is guaranteed for you at this moment. Economic growth, personal growth, blessing, health, whatever you need. You will soon see how in this opportunity, you will pour a potential energy to soon arrive at converting that into what you have desired. So I see that above all, the conditions will be set so that that desire is given to you, and you can demonstrate that precisely also your responsibility, your dedication, your constancy in that, because you are going to want that to keep growing, because the Ace of Pentacles really asks for that, because it is a seed. One has to cultivate it as such. The resources and the necessary context so that you can develop yourself in what you desire and get out of this situation is what the Ace of Pentacles brings. So you will surely reach that goal that truly motivates you later on. And obviously, you will be achieving everything you are currently lacking in your life today, without a doubt. I have no doubt that it announces the initiation of something for you of a solid construction. Or it could be something that surprises you unexpectedly. And for you, it is very important. And you begin another phase, right? Stable, secure, and very lasting. Even what could be a relationship, right? Because here you are in a situation like at a disadvantage with respect to what is the emotional part, because you may be with sadness, because things are not happening the way you want or not in the way that you are needing. Perhaps the pain is because of a lack of resources. It is because of failed attempts. And today life gives you the possibility of having or counting on the necessary conditions for something to be concretized or achieved or developed, be that as it may. Here you have some information, some news, something true that arrives, that emerges through a person. You will also be looking for information. You will be being more observant, more analytical. You will be more alert, especially because if you are rearming yourself at an emotional level, whether it is with a person who arrives new and who presents you as a resource also by life, it could be, or destiny. That Ace of Pentacles can be for you the hour of your luck in the moment in which life puts a person in front of you. And while you will be open and receptive to cultivating this relationship, as I told you, but you will also be alert. You will be observing closely the movements of that person, how that person is, what they do not do. Not that you are investigating this person because you do not trust, or maybe I do not know. What do I mean? No, you are not behind that person harassing. There you are simply alert because you do not want to suffer again. And I like that you protect yourself from an emotional place. Likewise, the Ace of Swords is like that energy that reaches us when we have to analyze, when we have to be observing our environment, when we have to be more accurate with the information we receive. And we have to look for information ourselves, and that information has to come from valid sources, because based on that information, you can structure a job, a project, you can do accounts, you can plan, you can take out numbers, whatever it is, right? Or if you work on that with accounts, with analysis, with numbers, with networks. I mean, it is a good moment for that, for the opening to what could be quality projects and communication, quality projects, reliable information, valuable, and above all, also receiving information at this moment that comes hand in hand also with a good opportunity. Obviously, that is valued and is very much taken into account. Well, let's see what the cards tell us now. These are always generalized readings. It may be that sometimes you need to treat your specific case. And for that, you have the possibility of having a personal reading with me, Leo. You schedule yourself through the website. You always see the address here in the video. And you also have a pinned comment on your sign so that you go directly to the page. I am laughing because the Five of Cups came out again. But let's see, I do not know why there is so much sadness. I think that some of you are literally going through a mourning process. It can be a physical mourning or an emotional mourning. It has nothing to do with death being there, right? But since it came out twice, it can be a lot of pain. It can be a lot of disappointment too, right? So, well, each one handles it from the place they understand they can do it. Ask for help if you have not done so. A professional, someone to advise you or to accompany you at this moment. Mourning, disillusionment, and hopelessness are things that are going to be transformed that I have no doubt about, because that very painful moment caused by some type of loss of something that is obviously very important to you, something very dear, very valuable, makes you feel in that deep state of sadness, and it results quite difficult to think about anything else. You only think about what you lost, right? But your mind is like it is always returning to the same thing. But we are also taking into account giving space to the reason for the pain, right? Because mourning is a process that allows your soul to find an adequate place within you to be able to keep the memory or the notion of that which is so valuable that you have lost. So living the mourning is a way to honor your own appreciation, your own love toward that which has ceased to be present in your life, or perhaps it never managed to be, or at least in the way that you expected. So already, even if you had lost even the hope, right? The hope or the expectation that this would occur, that this would happen, or that no, it did not arrive, right? And it is genuinely important, I think, to recognize that this is not actually the case, or at least not entirely, is it? We really need to look at this from a different angle, especially when we are talking about matters involving economic issues or financial concerns that affect your daily life, right? Because the Five of Cups does not only refer to relationships or friendships or to families, but it can also appear in a moment where you're going through a very complicated work issue or in some issue of personal development or in another topic. And emotionality permeates all those areas of the human experience. So, well, and it is strong because it came out twice. So that emotional conflict is what is also ending, because obviously you are giving yourself the opportunity to know, to open up, to reconcile with all of this, and to get out of the obsession of pain, the loss, or some type of error committed that you understand that you committed. And you have death here. Death is a fabulous card because it is speaking to us of what could be the great change that you are expecting, which accompanies that great blessing. Death is a card that speaks to us of the great and fabulous changes, that speaks to us of what can be, well, a death of this, right? This is over. I no longer choose to suffer this pain. I already did my work, or I am leaning on someone to go through this pain. It can even be physical pain over a person, over an animal, over whatever. It does not matter. Over the loss of a job or a project that did not turn out as you wanted. It does not matter. But all of that is transformed circumstances and feelings that are transformed so that you can transcend and generate the change in your life. Yes or yes, it arrives. It knocks on your door and tells you, well, look, here there is a radical change and one must adopt another posture. You must make a change of attitude and look elsewhere in another way. That is why life hits you hard and tells you it must be done. We change our form. We transform our reality. We change the feelings. We open ourselves to the new motive and we find the new way, because we see that everything changes, because it is a constant of the universe. I always remind you of it, and you change with it. And it is a good moment to transform this, to transform that which no longer makes sense to us. You are achieving something, because if you are in a Seven of Wands, it is important to emphasize that when one arrives at the Seven of Wands, one achieved a brutal advance and is defending oneself. You are defending yourself. You are defending your security. You are defending the opportunity that is being given to you. And you are also defending your mental, emotional, and physical health. And above all, you are also in a moment of success and advancement. You are recovering your vital energy because you have been directed toward that, right? Literally, the change is so brutal that it leads you to that place. to that place where one feels they have the courage, pulls the courage from wherever they can to defend what has been achieved. It does not mean that you could not have situations generated by external agents that might be in some way harming you. When you arrive at the Seven of Wands, it is because you have done something to earn it, right? You have worked for that position, worked for that role, worked for that money, worked for that resource, or worked for that solution. You have truly put in the effort to reach this point of success and progress. Simply put, you are in a position of privilege compared to others. You may not have even asked to be there, but life has crowned you here. This represents a moment for you where life also puts you to the test regarding how you are able to respond with firmness to this position, regardless of the situation you may be going through. It is a situation that places you in a position of privilege, as I tell you, and it is a victory for you. If you feel the attack, it is also because it gives way to the fact that other people probably have not overcome or have not arrived at this place, and in some way you feel envied or attacked or jealous of the people who remained below. Simply, these people were not at the level that you were. It may be that you are also defending something very important, such as a bond or your money, because perhaps someone wants to take something from you that is yours, right? So it is as if you are also very, very attentive to the movements of people in your immediate environment, right? Because you do not want to return to the Five of Cups. So we must remember that your position is not fragile now. Even if it is a moment in which you are feeling weak, right? You have to cling to that place that was earned. You have to cling to that success that the Ace of Pentacles brings. And above all, demonstrate to whoever you need to demonstrate that what you are defending is worth a lot. But also, if we are defending a person, it is also worth it. It is a moment to be proud, very proud, especially because the energy is an energy like reacting quickly, opportunely. You see that you are not distracting yourself, nor are you stopping too much to think if your position is the correct one for others or not. You are simply acting, not like in the Five of Cups, where you were paralyzed. You are resurging, you are protecting your territory and your integrity. You have to do it with strength, even if you are alone, perhaps against outside adversity. Good thing about all of this is that you have clarity regarding what is really happening. Therefore, since you must take advantage of your elevated position to have a broader vision, you are possibly responding to the situation differently than you were before. I don't know if you are literally going through a test. And from that test, obviously, you are also going to come out, Leo. You are going to come out well positioned. Perhaps you are also going through many problems at once, resolving each one of them as the resources you need obviously become available to you along the way. You are overcoming that test. You are fixing that problem. And above all, I see that you are realizing that from now on, you will be alert and you will be ready to respond to everything. No longer letting any energy into your life that interferes with something you want to do, right? Or person. You are going to take charge in advance of matters that could later become problematic so as not to fall back into the Five of Cups. In other words, what I want to tell you with this is that they are not going to defeat you again. They are not going to take away your willpower. Above all, you are not going to be left halfway with what you have been doing, or what you are going to do, rather. You are going to continue in that very valuable position. And obviously, you are also going to recover something, because perhaps I feel that what you might want is to recover a person, something valuable, a relationship, a social position, a job position, an image in front of others. You are defending something, and something that has to do with your emotions. And since there is a death, it can be an inevitable change for that person to have a place in your life again, but very different, or you in that person's life, and also very different. What you are defending today is the bond that is being rebuilt, or the relationship that is entering your life, or the job, so as not to lose it again as it was lost previously. The same with a relationship, the same with money. Angels that descend for you. I am the angel who descends to help you fly and grow. Let go now. Open your wings and receive this light that envelopes you sweetly, because I give you faith and gratitude. Imposing Leo, may it be so, so it is, and so it shall be.